Hello, it's that college football guy here. Another video. Yeah, early in the morning, but I've already been at it for quite a few hours already. Been driving for over 3, and I got to stop here to get some fuel and whatnot. Got a hell of a line here for the pumps, so they told me it's at least a 15-minute wait, so I thought I'd squeeze in and get a video in here talking about a schedule preview for the North Carolina Tar Heels for 2023. First and foremost, a question in the comments that came in the video from yesterday. Well, all the problems that I have about my apartment, my condo, no, it's basically technically both. I call it an apartment, they call it a condo. Anyway, why do I stay here if it's got this many problems? The closest one around here was it's for my schools, for my kid. Across the lake. A lot of them over there. And they have no maintenance staff on site to take care of anything. Everything is wait for the crew from Nashville to drive here, which can be a 2 to 3 week wait to get something done. And it's almost double the rent for a place that's actually smaller. It has its problems, but compared to what else is around here, it's the best option. And it's also the cheapest, so it lucks out in both ways. But first, let's get into this here. Let's get into the schedule preview. Now, for the schedule previews, what we're going to do is we're going to compare non-conference games from this year and last year. We're also going to compare schedules. I'm going to go through, we'll do the non-con games, and then we're going to do a review of the 2022 record, what they actually did. And then we're going to preview the 2023 schedule. And yeah, North Carolina had a year last year. They started off hot, and then they had they lost 4 straight to end the season, finished the season 9-5, which is a good season. But if you look at the wins, folks, it's a little deceiving with the 9 wins. And I'll get into this. First off, let's do a little comparison of non-conference games from last year and this year. Last year, they were home against Florida A&M. They were at Appalachian State. They're a good Group of 5 program. At Georgia State, not a great Group of 5 program. And then home against Notre Dame. So you had 1 Power 5, 2 Group of 5s, and an FCS. Okay. This year, home against South Carolina to start the season. That's a heck of a way to start it, especially how hot South Carolina was to end the year. Home against Appalachian State. Home against Minnesota. And then home against Campbell. All 4 non-cons at home. You're playing 2 Power 5s, 1 Group of 5, 1 FCS. You get a tougher non-conference schedule. And we're going to say it's tougher. Let's go with what they did last year. 2022 season for North Carolina. Home against Florida A&M, they won 56-24. That's expected. At Appalachian State was a shootout with Drake May being quarterback, and they won 63-61. That's video game numbers. That's crazy. At Georgia State, who's not a great program, they won 35-28. You barely beat them. That's not good. Then they had a bye week. Home against Notre Dame, they got beat 45-32, caught their first loss of the year. Then they were home against Virginia Tech, won 41-10. They were at Miami. Miami was improving, but they weren't a great program. They won 27-24. They were at Duke and won 38-35. 2 close road wins. Home against Pitt, they won 42-24. All right. At Virginia, won 31-28. At Wake Forest with Sam Hartman, won 36-34. The road games in conference, they're winning close. They're still winning, but they're winning close. But that tells me there could be a problem on the horizon. And here the problem was, and of all teams, it was Georgia Tech. At home, North Carolina lost to Georgia Tech 21-17. Then they were home against NC State, their arch rival. Lost 30-27 in double overtime. That must have been heartbreaking. Then they go to the ACC championship game against Clemson and lose 39-10, get absolutely shellacked. Then they go to the Holiday Bowl to play Oregon and lost 28-27. A lot of close games. They won more than they lost, but it came down to the end of the season where it mattered. They didn't. Finished the season on a 4-game skid, started 9-5. Now let's look at their schedule. Home against South Carolina. Home against Appalachian State. Home against Minnesota. At Pitt. That could be interesting. Then they got a bye week. They're home against Syracuse. Syracuse did some damage last year. Home against Miami. You barely beat them on the road. Let's see what you can do at home. Home against Virginia. You won by 3 on the road. Let's see what happens there. At Georgia Tech, you lost to them at home last year. That could be interesting. You're home against Campbell. That should be a win. You're home against Duke. Barely beat them last year. And you finish the season at Clemson and at NC State. That could be 2 L's staring at you right in the face. Now, this is not a prediction video. This is just going through the schedule here. And you look at this here, they're tough games. I don't know what Pitt's going to be with the quarterback situation, how good of a team they're going to be. So I'm going to put that as an iffy. Syracuse should be a good team this year again, but this is not a prediction about them. But you look at South Carolina game, Minnesota game, Syracuse, Miami, Virginia could be a threat there, Duke, Clemson, NC State. Of their, key games I mentioned there, the 8 key games they're going to hear that's going to have in their season, there's a lot of them on there. They're close to where North Carolina is. 6 of the 8 are at home. Last season's key games, Notre Dame at home was a loss. At Miami, win. At home against Pitt, win. At Virginia, win. Home against NC State, loss. A lot of their key games, they had road games that were key, and they won close games. Drake May's still there. He's a redshirt sophomore. This is going to be probably his last season. I see he probably is going to declare for the draft. But is this schedule tougher than last year? Notre Dame, Miami. I don't know if Duke's going to be good again, but Notre Dame, Miami, Pitt, NC State, Wake Forest. Wake Forest was good last year. I don't know about this year. This year, South Carolina, Minnesota. You got Pitt again. You got Syracuse. You got Clemson. My opinion, you let me know down in the comments, non-conference and conference, I think this is a tougher schedule than what they played last year. They won a lot of close games against a lot of teams that overperformed. Duke, whatever. They did overperforming, but what's going to happen this year? Is that a product of the close games were because the other teams underperformed, or was it because North Carolina didn't perform up to expectations? Which is it? So this could be an interesting season for North Carolina here, looking at the schedule. So let me know down in the comments what you think about this. Is the schedule from this year tougher than last year, or was last year's schedule tougher? A lot of close wins, some close losses. They were close in there. But eventually that doesn't happen. So do you think they're going to potentially have a better year this year than last year? We get 10 wins? Because remember, they were, before the final 2 games of the regular season, they were 9-1. They were 9-1. And they lost their next 4. Georgia Tech had them blowing the wheels off. They just couldn't recover after that, and that was possibly injuries. I'm not fully versed right now because I'm in my truck and I don't have my paperwork that's at the house. But let me know down in the comments what you think about this. So thanks, everybody, for watching the video. There's a truck flies right by in front of me. By the way, if you want to know where I'm at, I'm in Lenoir City, Tennessee. I'm on my way to Mechanicsville, Virginia for the night. Got to deliver there in the morning. Thanks, everybody, for watching the video. If you haven't already, hit the like button, smash the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, helps the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video, like I said. I want to hear what you think of North Carolina's schedule. And subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 400 subscribers. See if we can get there. So, another day of being a trucker, and another day people hopefully not hitting me. So, thanks, everybody, for watching the video. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Be safe out there, and please be good to each other.